okay, so there's lots of, I want to be distant, I need time. And I know everyone's distant, but I'm not talking about that. This is more about how you felt. It's like, no, I just feel like being a bit by myself. I need time to think. I just don't want to be around people right now. That's kind of how you're feeling, I think. And you were keeping a few things to yourself as well, I think, because the High Priestess can be a little bit about secrets. So, okay, the other thing here is, I think you're over someone. I think you're finally over. It's like, I'm over this person. I'm finally over them. And, you're away from them as well. And I think you've been away from them for a while, but now you're finally over them in your mind. I'm getting edges around the edge. I know that's a bit strange. Okay, yeah, it feels like someone might have been kind of going around the edge, marking their territory. That's what it is. Someone's marking their territory, or they were. I think they might still be trying. I know that sounds horrible because you're not territory, you're a person. But someone was kind of going around the edges, going around, marking, kind of circling around the edges. The weird thing is, this is this ex, this is this person you're over. They're not contacting you, or they're not contacting you properly. You might be talking a bit, but I doubt it. It kind of looks like you're completely separate now. But they're kind of circling around and they're kind of watching. It's like they want to see if other people are talking to you, so it might be that. But it's like, oh, this is my territory. It's none of their business who you're talking to. It really isn't. I know I'm Aries, but I feel like saying that to them. It's none of your business. Because just looking at the Strength card that's down there, and when you think of lions that are in captivity, they walk around the perimeter of where they are. They walk around the edge, and it's like they're guarding the edge of their territory. And that's what they're doing. Like this lion, they're going around. And the thing is, they're not with you now. So, they're kind of patrolling around. It's really weird. Not literally, obviously. They're not walking around your house, but they're kind of a little bit on social media, looking at what you're doing, seeing if anyone's going to talk to you, seeing if who's talking to them, who's around them. Let's look at this. Let's look at their Instagram. Let's look at this and that. Let's check. And, I'm marking my territory. If anyone comes in, I'm going to say something. Yeah, if anyone comes in, I'm going to say something. So if you're seeing someone else, or if you start seeing someone else, just be very careful. They might start to say something to the new person, or they might try and mess things up. So just watch out for that. Yeah, it's so strange. They're not with you, but I can really feel their energy around you. And I think you can feel it too, because you're quite intuitive. If you've got the High Priestess, you're intuitive, and you are anyway. And you've got that, you've got the Hierophant, you've got the Star, so lots of spiritual cards. So you are like that anyway, I know that. Anyway, so the other thing I'm seeing here is, if you're single, it actually looks like you've got a few options around you. So obviously this person hasn't seen this. And obviously there's lots of online talking on here, because you're not going to be going around looking at people in person or seeing them. It's all online. So obviously this is all done in some way that this person can't see. I don't know if you block them or whatever. But they're trying really hard to see what you're up to. But yeah, there's a little bit of flirting here actually. Words, messages. You're still a bit guarded, or that's how these people see you, because the High Priestess is a little bit of, she's a little bit like, the Mona Lisa. That's what she's like. If you imagine the Mona Lisa, she's La Gioconda. She's up there. She's a little bit mysterious. Everyone looks at her. Everyone takes a picture in the gallery, in the Louvre. They all take a picture. Not now, obviously. But she's kind of very mysterious. Is she smiling? Is she not? What's she thinking? We don't know. And that's how a lot of these people saw you, because you were very laid back. But there was a little bit of flirting there. But what I'm getting is, I don't think any of these people are giving you this spark. It's not, you don't have a spark. It's like, no, there's no big spark. There's no passion there. And, Scorpios need that. You need that passion. It's crucial to you. If you're thinking about a relationship or anything like that, if you don't have that big spark, it's like, no, I'm not interested. You really need that. And, yeah, so this other person's still kind of prowling around, but they're not seeing all these people you're flirting with. So it might, maybe you block them. It might be that. It's very strange, but yeah, I think you can feel this person around you. The thing is, with this person, with this axe, the problem is, I think they had that passion. I think they gave you that. I think you got that from them, that passion, that spark. It was all there. But that's all they gave you. That's all they could give you. You know, they couldn't give you loyalty. They couldn't give you honesty, any of that. And, you know, it's really, really hard to find someone who has both of those things. But you're not going to settle. Scorpios don't settle. So I think what you're doing is you might be talking to people if you're single. But, you know, unless they bring you that spark, I don't think it's going to go any further. And you're kind of holding back as well anyway. Maybe that's why. So the next card you have your past is Strength. Yeah, so whoever does end up with you in the end, again, this is for single people, you know, if they can do all those things for you, they've got someone for life. You know, look at this infinity symbol over this woman's head. So they've got you for life. If they can give you all these things, because you're passionate, you've got all the things that you want in someone else. You're passionate, you're caring, and you know, when you fall for someone, you do everything for them, like this woman, and you expect the other person to do the same. You really do. You give them everything, you expect to get everything back as well, and you deserve that. But obviously, you know, it's really hard to find someone who's got that balance between passion and that caring side and that loyalty. And obviously both of those things are on this card. So yeah, if this is you, don't take your eyes off what you want. You know, there are probably, you know, obviously there are fewer people around who can give you both of those things, but you deserve that. You can have that. You absolutely can. And obviously in this climate, it's pretty much impossible to meet people face to face, but there's lots and lots of talking online here in this reading, and everyone's doing that, obviously, so that's why it's all coming up here. But even if you're talking to someone online, even if you can't see them, even if it's just texting or words or messages, you can still feel that spark, even if it's just messages. You know, it's if it's there with you. And for you, as a Scorpio, if you feel that with someone you know right away, and it's like that with friends as well, you can meet people and you're like, yes, I get along with them. This is my person, I can tell. I know this is person's for me. I feel like I've known them for years. And you're just, right, I want that person as my friend. This is my friend forever. I know that. I can feel that. And the same with someone who you don't like. You see someone and you're like, no, I can tell I just don't like them. They're not my person. I feel that bad feeling, or I don't feel right. You know right away. Now, what I'm seeing here is if you are single again, there is someone coming in for you. There's someone coming in for you. They're coming in online, because all this is all about talking online. And, you know, look at all these cards in your past. They're all communicating silently. They're not speaking. There's no words here, but they're all communicating in different ways. So you're not going to find them in the conventional way. There's no online dating here. I'm not seeing that. It's more like conversations. Excuse me. So it might be that you've got the same interest. It might be through work. It's some kind of specific subject that you're both going to be talking about. And then it kind of gradually moves into talking about, you know, relationships, and it gradually becomes more, you know, relationship-like, if that makes sense. So, you know, you'll know when you speak to them, you'll know it's automatic with you, and it's going to be automatic with this person. And, you know, the other thing is you won't be thinking about love. When this comes in, it's going to be a surprise. You're going to be like, okay, I'm not going to think about love anymore. I'm going to do other things, concentrate on other things. I don't care if I meet someone or not. And that's when they're going to come in. It's going to be a big surprise. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing there. Really, really, really nice. And it's a world away from this person here, this axe here. Okay, so the last card you have your past is the Hierophant. Okay, this is really, okay, this is a bit unusual. So I've got this, I'm just looking at this, it's really interesting because I'm looking at this in the Seven of Wands, and it looks like they kind of go together for me for some reason. So, okay, so just try and articulate what I'm seeing here. So firstly, with the Hierophant, you've got some barriers up. You've got some barriers up, and we can see that everywhere. So we already know that. Now, okay, so there's a question here. There's a question. It feels like work. I don't think it's a work-related question, but I think it's something around work, and someone's going to ask you a question. I know this is in the past, but this is about what's about to happen, and it's kind of building up in your past, and then it's coming along. So whatever this situation is, it's been building up, and I think it's been building up between two people, because I can see two separate people here. And if you look at the Hierophant, I'll just move it up so you can see, there's two monks there, one on each side of the Hierophant. So we've got two people here. And so with the first person, it feels like they're going to ask you this question, and it feels like you're going to have that horrible feeling. It's like, you know, the feeling that I was just talking about, whether, you know, when there's someone in front of you and you don't like them and you know that right away. That's the feeling you're going to get. They're your instincts. Someone's going to ask you a question, and this is someone you don't like, and you're going to be like, no, it's automatically no, because I get this horrible feeling around you. I don't like you. I think this is someone who you work with. I think it might be someone who's above you at work. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting. And you've always had problems with this person. You don't get along. Maybe they've created some problems for you in the workplace in the past. And obviously you're talking probably online, because it's all over this reading, and everyone's, you know, at home. Usually, most people when they're working anyway. So you might be in that situation. So you're far away from this person you don't like, but you have to communicate. Now, they're going to give you this question, and you're going to automatically be like, no, I don't want that question. The answer is no, I'm not interested. Then there's a second person I've got here who comes along, and it looks like this is someone you work with as well. I know this is all very specific, but I'm seeing this very, very clearly. And the second person, someone you really like. The second person, someone who's more like your friend. You work with them, but they're your friend. And when the first person talks to you about whatever this thing is, you're going to be like, yeah, I expect that from them. They're not a nice person. I expect them to be doing things that are a little bit dodgy. This is a bit dodgy. Might even be against the law. I don't know. It's something not good. And then I think what's going to happen is you're going to hear from the second person who's your friend. And when you realise they're involved in this, you're going to be really shocked. This is a big shock here. It's like, I didn't know they'd be involved in this. This is a huge shock. I thought I knew this person. I thought I knew them. I don't know them. My whole opinions on them has just turned completely upside down. I'm completely in shock, and I don't want anything to do with them ever again. So it's a very sad thing that's happening, but I think it's the right thing for you to do when you find this out, because you don't want to be involved in this. There's some kind of trouble around this, and the Hierophant's about sticking to the rules, doing the right thing, and that's what you're going to be like, because you're coming up as the Hierophant, and there's these two people there, these two monks. And so, you know, you're going to be like, no, I'm distancing myself now from both of you. I'm away. The answer's no. Now, there's going to be a little bit of a part of you before you kind of decide what to do. You might be drawn into this a bit, because you've got this person who you think's your friend. And you might be thinking, oh, what do I do? You know, they've asked me this, and I've got a bad feeling around this, but they're my friends, so I'm not sure what to do. And if you look at this man in the Seven of Wands, he's got two different shoes on. So what that tells me is he's been caught unawares. These people are battling him, or these wands are, and he's kind of had to rush off and put these shoes on, and he's been caught unawares. So they might do that to catch you unawares. It's like, I'm your friend, I'm telling you this. And you're like, oh, I don't know, but they're my friend. What do I do? So my feeling around this whole thing, and I think it's going to be yours, is completely stay away from this. Don't have anything to do with this thing. This is quite a bad thing. Might even be illegal. It's something that's not good. Might have something to do with money, because I think the Three of Pentacles has something to do with this situation as well. And yeah, I'll talk about the Three of Pentacles here as well. So yeah, on this card as well, you can see two people on one side and one on the other side, two against one. So you've got the two people, and then you've got you on the other side. And what's interesting about this is the person on the left, representing you, he's up on a platform, this man. He's by himself. And so he's up higher than the others. So you've got the moral high ground. And you'll continue to have the moral high ground if you don't have anything to do with this. And the other thing I'm noticing here with these two people is one of them looks a bit like a joker in the way he's dressed, so a bit of a clown. So it's like with one of these people, you expect them to do something a bit silly or wrong or the wrong thing. That's what this clown's about. But the other person's a monk. You know, they're a holy person. So you expect more of them. You expect more of them. So that represents your friend on this card. And it's a big shock. You know, if a monk did something wrong, or if a nun did something wrong, or if the Pope or a bishop or something like that, you'd be like, wow. And they do lots of things wrong. Not everyone, but some of them do. It's a big shock when that happens. So, yeah, you're going to be really shocked with who's behind all this, who's behind this kind of dodgy thing or this bad thing. It's something around work, might be illegal, might not be, but it's something that's not good. And when you find out this person that you know is involved in this, huge shock. And then I think what you're going to do is completely distance yourself from this whole thing, which I think is the absolute right thing to do. So if you're in the middle of this and you're deciding, yeah, stay away from this whole thing. Okay, so the last card you have, your present, is the Eight of Cups. And I'm going to lift that up as well so you can see that whole card. So again, here's this person. They're around the perimeter. They're walking around, watching what you're doing. Sometimes when I see this card, you know, this man's walking away, but sometimes I see him walking around that big rock and coming back around again. So going around and around and around. So, you know, but if you look at this card, there's no point in them walking around and around because the water's not fresh. There's no freshness here. There's algae here all over this card. And so time to go and get fresh water. So that's what my advice to them is, but it's not their reading. Time to go and get fresh water. There's nothing to see here. Move along, nothing to see here. And, you know, I think in time they'll move along. They will. Okay, this is what I'm getting here in this card. I'm just seeing this with this axe. I think something happened at night when you were with them. Something happened, or in the twilight. That's what this card's about. It looks like they've been seen doing something. Maybe they weren't caught, but I think they were seen. Because have a look at the way this moon's looking at this man. So, yeah, and I'm just getting this phrase. I'm just getting this phrase in my head. You know, I see everything, but I don't speak. I see, but I don't speak on what I see. So someone saw this. I don't know if it's you or someone else. Someone saw them kind of sneaking around. That's what they're doing, but they didn't say anything. So yeah, look at this man. It looks like he's kind of sneaking around a bit. He's sneaking off into the night, and it's twilight. No one can see him. The moon can see him. And he's got passion for someone. So he's kind of sneaking off to someone else. And he's walking. The thing is, he's walking away. He's walking away from the person that loved him. I think that's what happened between you. He's walking away from all these cups, this big wall of cups. He's walking away from the love. And, you know, so if this is resonating, if they snuck around on you, again, they've got no right to be marking their territory over you. And it looks like if they were sneaking around, it looks like they mark their own territory all over the place, actually. So, yeah, so I'm getting angry with them now. So I'm not going to say any more about them. I'm just going to go right on to the future, which is the Ace of Wands. This is a fantastic card. This is about forging forward. It's about passion. It's about, yes, I can do this. It's really about the potential of the things to come. So it can be about ideas. So I don't know if you're thinking of leaving this workplace, but, you know, if what I'm seeing here is correct, I can see why you would be. But, you know, in this climate, obviously everyone's trying to just hold on to what they have and not rock the boat, and they're trying to get stable or be stable or stay stable. So, you know, it might be in the back of your head that, you know, I'm not happy there. I'm thinking of something else anyway. I might move on to something else. Might be some kind of business, something like that. Keep that in your head if this is you. You know, obviously stay where you are for now, but keep it in your head. I know this is a really difficult time for everyone, I know that, but I think a lot of really interesting and innovative things are going to come out of this time, actually. I don't want to say much about that because I could go on about this time and what it all means and what I think it means anyway, but I won't talk about that. But so what I can say about this is, with new businesses, new work, new companies that are starting up, that are going to start up, there's a move away from the superficial, kind of building humans up by, consumption, overconsumption, falseness, showing off, designer labels, look at me, I've got this and that. There's a move away from what's happening on the outside, and there's a move toward the inside of a person, the inside of humans, the bits we miss when we're judging the outside. And I think that's what the old world's about, judging the outside, people on Instagram with lots of kind of fake things on their face and fake clothes, and look at me, I'm in front of a Ferrari and I've got this big house, and it's kind of moving away from that and moving away from what's on the inside. But yeah, so if you're thinking about starting a business or whatever it is, because this card's about action, it's about the potential of something new, new things taking off. So if that's what you're thinking about, just think about, the kinds of businesses that are going to work. They'll be more geared toward people's emotions, people's health, obviously, people's health, physical health and their mental health, and less about appearance, more about what's on the inside. So just have a think about all that. If that's what you're thinking about doing, stick where you are for now, obviously, until everything kind of settles down. But think about this in the background if that's what you're already doing. Okay, just something else I'm getting here as well. I'm just looking at this in the Queen of Swords, and I was seeing all this flirting. I was seeing a little bit of flirting going on. Not really being interested, but a little bit of flirting. It was in the High Priestess, actually. Online flirting, a little bit of fun. But again, it doesn't feel like you're really all that interested in any of these people seriously. Okay, how do I say this? If you're female, or if you're male, maybe, I don't know, just look at the Ace of Wands, okay? So I don't need to say any more. We're talking about online flirting, and you can see that card, you can see what it is. So I think what's going to happen is you'll be doing a bit of blocking, I think. Let's just say that, with this Queen of Swords. So if this is you, if you're doing a little bit of flirting, it looks like what's going to happen is you're probably going to stop that for a while. And I think when you finally do that and you kind of go back into yourself again, you think, no, I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to focus on other things. And when you start to focus on other things, I think that's when this person's going to come into your life. They're going to come in, and they're going to come in online. Again, I'm seeing messages. That's how they're coming in. And again, they're going to catch you unawares. You're not going to be thinking about love. You're not going to be interested in love, and you'll see them or not see them, but you'll probably start talking to them through messages, and the spark will be there. You're going to feel this immediately. It's like boom. It's going to be like boom, and that's exactly what you want. Really, really amazing. And you've got the star here. And, the scene in the star, obviously it's in the twilight as well, the starlight. But look at the difference between this. I'll lift that up right next to the Eight of Cups. So you've got the two of them there together, and you can compare the two. The star's comparing the new love, the new relationship, this new messaging person. And the Eight of Cups is representing the old person, the old love, the person who's kind of watching you. So look at the difference between the two. They're both twilight, but the star is all about, they've got a completely different feel. One's very positive, the other one's quite negative. And this is all about, the star's all about balance. It's about attraction, physical attraction, resilience, earth and emotion together, all those things, and hope for things to come. So that's all going to come up in this new person, this new relationship. And I think it's probably going to develop quite slowly, but I think that suits you actually, because you're a bit distant, you want that to happen slowly. And it looks like you're ready for love if this is you, but you don't want to repeat any old patterns. So I think you'll take your time. I think you'll both take your time, actually. This is developing out of a conversation about a particular subject. Okay, so that's all I'm really going to say.